All right, I'm addressing READMEs. The best way to talk about this for me is to address why they're important. So READMEs are magical to me because of many reasons. But first, let me introduce myself. I am Nerando Johnson. I am a Flatiron grad, a former middle school science teacher, and I currently help to run FreeCodeCamp Atlanta. Um, my handle is the same where everywhere, which is NERAJNO at NERAJNO. All right. So READMEs to me are magical because they give you the whole, it's like good documentation. And the best way we get new knowledge is to read about it. The trick with developers is that some of us write really good code. We are really horrible at telling people how it works. I like this code. This is one of the best codes ever, which basically talks about documentation as a love letter to your future self. It works in code. I write a journal and it kind of helps me as I go along from like past to present to like encouragement. You've been through this, you'll be fine, so on and so forth. My talk format is kind of short. Yes, I like Saka because of him being a strategist. So it's basically why, how, now, AOB, and resources. All right. For our use case, a README is basically what your project is about. It's nice, it's structured, it explains everything. Like it gives you a base, it gives somebody a basic bite as to why should we use your project. Some people create great projects, but no README, so sometimes you never get the traction you need on your project. Okay. Um, so the README is either auto-generated from like when you're using GitHub, or you create it from scratch and it has a .md at the end of the file. MD means markdown. So we had why. So this is our why. Straightforward, it's your calling card. Anybody uses your README, anybody uses your portfolio, anything, people know that, hey, this is the, this is my, this is my, this is my project and it's really cool. It, for us as developers, it encourages a culture of documentation where we keep writing and the stories of our code gets told continuously. It gets you help whenever you need help. So if somebody comes in and you new, like you say, hey, I'm not understanding what's going on, I come to talk about stuff, it shows everybody that, hey, this is what he's doing, this is what he wants to achieve, let me look at his project. It gets people, it's like it's a bait or an easy way for persons to just come onto your project. All right, how do we do this? This is the other case. There is no magic bullet, there's no like one way, there's no nothing. I literally just typed in from other experiences how to create a readme and I came up with like these simple steps. Title, summary, like what should your project look like when it's finished, why did you create it. This is really cool for a lot of people because you get inspiration from other persons, you get an eye, you're like you're telling everybody why are you so, you feel so good about this project, the technologies used. So somebody might be there because they know all of this, because they know some of this, or because they want to follow your project because they want to learn something new. Credits is simply explained as like who helped, what project you saw that inspired this, because it's always good to tell somebody else who gave you an idea that, hey, you were the reason I made this. And last but not least, a license. Now, this part, people don't really pay attention to it because a license tend to be something that you least pay attention to because you might not think, hey, this is just a side project and I may never use it. I may never do anything else with it. But Somebody may use your project or your project ID or parts of your project and make $1 million, so you might get upset. But if you never had any license, say, hey, you can use part of this, but it doesn't, whoops. You can use part of this, but it doesn't, what the heck is going on? You can use part of my project, but it doesn't talk about anything else. You can say, you can use part of my project, but you have to tell me if you make money, or you can ask me first. They can make money and there's nothing you can do about it. All right, how to do this? How to do this? Simplest way, Google README Markdown, and you'll get a ton of information. The first 1 to 2 slides tend to give you results, tend to give you a good idea of how to do it. So I break it down simple. I make notes, I create a README file, and I implement a structure. That's simply it. So okay, so anyway. So I had notes on the right, but it's not loading, but so I'm not even fussing. So I take a pencil sketch of what it should look like. Same problem again. I'd create notes on what I'd copy my notes into my created README file, whether it's something I created or it's auto-generated and I fix it. I'm gonna come back to this because I may have a little time. And last but not least, okay, guess not. This is what my auto-generated file should look like. So from all my notes, I was able to this was for my random code generator. I wrote out what I want. I drew a sketch of what it should look like. I told everybody what's built with, technologies and acknowledgement. It's something simple. It's nothing complex, but it was able to show everybody, hey, this is what I did. So the use case is what happens now for you as the viewer, as somebody watching this talk. What do? Simple. All tech is done. You get better at tech by doing stuff. So my advice on you is that you go read on READMEs, you watch a talk on README. There's a couple of good ones. You read documentation from the first, how to write good READMEs. You look on the README of other developers you admire. You find one of your repositories and you figure out what documentation you want to put in yours and you go fix it. So that's it. That's my small short talk on READMEs and why they're important and magical.